Happy Wednesday to you folks, and welcome to the Musings. Hope you like the new intro as we're trying to make the Musings now more YouTube friendly. A lot of the content going forward now is going to be on YouTube on my channel, Soccer Night in Detroit. So you can follow that channel at Soccer Night in Detroit on YouTube, and we will be posting most of the video. Now, as far as the TikTok presence is concerned, which is at Brett Peel on TikTok, I'm going to shorten it up just a bit. So it's going to be more or less match day posts, maybe a little teaser talking about Soccer Night, talking about the Musings as well. So it's more or less a going to be like a teaser page. So we're going to shorten up the videos a little bit. The longer content you'll find on the Soccer Night in Detroit page on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to the Soccer Night in Detroit channel on YouTube. That's at Soccer Night in Detroit on YouTube, if you're willing to search on that. Also, you can, like I said, and I'll still keep the TikTok channel going. That's pretty much, like I said, teasers and a little bit of post-match content, like score reviews and whatnot after matches, and then we're just going to provide the teaser for the post-match shows. So everything from here on out now is going to be on YouTube. And of course, I'll share it on the Facebook page, the Faithful of Detroit City page as well. And of course, the full videos of that will be appearing on that as well. So you'll have two outlets in which out there. But make sure you like and subscribe to our new YouTube channel, Soccer Night in Detroit, because that's where most of our content will be going forward here. So kick things off here on a news-filled edition of the Musings here. Start off with congratulations going out to Gabby Schriver. She was the recipient of this year's Black Arrow Award for the women. What can I say about her stats? I mean, she was dominant in net throughout the regular season in the Great Lakes division, only allowing 3 goals in 900-plus minutes of play. She kept her domination throughout the playoffs. Unfortunately, of course, they bowed out in the national semifinal against Colorado Storm, but a great effort all the way around. Great leader for the women's side, and it was present from her day, she, for being here last year, all throughout the winter season, which we'll talk about in a minute about the winter season, and throughout the USL-W season, and just a tremendous effort by her, as well as all the players on that women's side this year. Great season by them, and a well-deserved honor. So congratulations to Gabby Schriver, this year's Women's Black Arrow Award winner. And as I mentioned, there was some major news yesterday coming out of the indoor front. Now, Detroit City's women did play last year in the indoor game in a league called the PASL. These two leagues have now merged. So, Major Arena Soccer League has announced a formal alignment and unification with the Premier Arena Soccer League and current MASL and 2 and MASL 3 divisions, in addition to creating the new Major Arena Soccer League Women. So, a new league called the MASL-W will be taking place next year. With the unification, the Major Arena Soccer League brand will feature approximately 80 teams from coast to coast and across 2 countries for all 4 of its leagues. All 4 of its leagues will play under the rules of the MASL to create greater cohesion across the brand. According to an MASL Commissioner Keith Tozer, providing a path for so many talented players has always been at the forefront of the indoor soccer pyramid. This unification, along with the continued growth on and off the field of the MASL-2 and MASL-3, will help the sport of indoor soccer across North America. In addition of a women's league, MASL-W also gives us a look at what the future of indoor soccer can look like in the coming years. So big news there. And if you look on the MASL website, and I will provide the screenshot of what's to come here. Might have to dig deeper on that, obviously, because in fact, I may have to go to MASL-W for that. In fact, the page is still developing, but happen to see on that page many PASL club in the MASL-W, including one, yes, Detroit City SC. No official announcement has been made yet as far as linkage to or joining of the MASL, but I'm sure that might be coming in a few days. But as I was, like I said, we were looking into a deeper dive, and I'll thank Dennis from 451 Detroit for the heads up on that. While he was doing a little deep dive, and he noticed that many of the clubs that we played with in the PASL last year have joined to form a Great Lakes division that includes Cincinnati Sirens, Kalamazoo United, West Shore Ambition, Louisville Triumph. So many of the teams that were in the original in the PASL last year, with the exception of Waz. I'm sorry you didn't make the cut. I'm sorry, but apparently they got the logos in, and something may be coming up. So I don't want to speculate. I don't want to break any news here, but potential that we could be seeing some indoor soccer. And I've been hearing talks. I talked with a couple of the players on Saturday night, and even Coach Dave DeWahey, that things are looking like we are going to have a women's season this year in a new league. So it's potential. And I mentioned to both Hannah Crum and Gabby while we were talking later after the match on Saturday that MASL might be involved. So now there was an announcement yesterday. So we shall see. This is a developing story with many angles, so many angles to it. So we'll keep abreast on it as we go forward. We're going to start a new segment here on the Musings. This is a new segment as we're going forward, as we're getting into the last bit of the season, called Push to the Playoff.
Chance again for Russ to deliver. Hit away. Back out for Gasso. The ball has and it fouled it out. Detroit City's ahead. And that could be it. There's the whistle. Detroit City FC have their first ever USL Championship playoff victory. And the #1 overall seed is done.
First off, let's take a look at the standings in the Eastern Conference at this point. Lou City and Charleston Battery above everybody else. I don't think anybody's going to catch them as far as the top 2 seeds are concerned. The only question is who's going to take home the Players' Shield. Will it be Charleston with Nick Marcanic, Nick Marcanic, who just recently signed with La Liga's SC Castellon. At the end of the that contract will be taking place at the end of the year, or will it be Wilson Harris and Danny Cruz and the gang from Lou City FC? Those two are on the top. Don't have to worry about those guys as far as that. It's going to be interchangeable as far as 1 and 2 goes, maybe going forward towards the last few games of the season. Charleston has, by the way, Louisville has 2 games in hand with Charleston Battery. Charleston's had 27 games played this year out of the 34 matches in USL Championships. So, in that scenario. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay, 1 game in hand with Detroit City. They're sitting right now at 43 points. Possibility of them, catching them or anybody catching them, as far as the third spot goes, that remains to be seen. We'll see if Tampa Bay falls off the wagon a little bit. That may end up being a scenario there, but that remains to be seen as the weeks formulate here. Now, the real battle here is between 4th and through 11th here. Detroit City FC is sitting at 38 points, 26 games played, 8 to go. Rhode Island, 1 point behind at 37 points. They also have 8 matches to go. Indy 11 is sitting at 36 points. They have 9 matches to go themselves, so they have a game in hand with Detroit City at this point. Birmingham Legion with 35 points sitting in the 7th spot. Loudoun has a game in hand with us. They're sitting at 34 points. Pittsburgh Riverhounds sitting at 32 points. North Carolina FC sitting at 30. And Hartford Athletic is sitting in the 11th spot at 29 points. Miami FC, they're not officially eliminated yet, but with a loss or drop points probably this week, they will be officially eliminated from the competition in the Eastern Conference. So let's look at some potential matchups here. First off, Lou City will be taking on 8th place Loudoun United on Friday night at Lynn Family Stadium. Doesn't look good for Loudoun United. Looking at the head-to-head there, the previous matchups, Lou City has dominated. So, and needless to say, dominated as far as in the history of the series, especially at Lynn Family Stadium, dating back to 2019, 2-1 victory there. The only win came in 2019 for Loudoun United, and that was at Segra Field against Lou City. Other than that, they have not won since. And the biggest drubbing came in 2022 at Lynn Family, a 4-2 victory for Lou City in that one. So chances are it may not be a good night for Loudoun to pick up points, especially against a very tough Lou City team. Miami FC, as I mentioned, they travel down to the lab to take on New Mexico United on Friday night. Should they lose, drop points there, they'll be eliminated from the playoffs. Okay, let's go to Saturday's tilts there. Interesting game down at Trinity Health Stadium in Hartford between Hartford Athletic and Indy 11. Now, Hartford Athletic has been good as of late, as far as the last few games have went, including picking up a draw at Detroit City. They have won their last 3 games at home, so could be a tough night for a struggling Indy 11 side as of late. And of course, they lost in the Open Cup. They ended up managing to get a draw last week against Pittsburgh Riverhounds, thanks to a Mario Williams goal in the 97th minute of play. So, I mean, the big guns aren't getting it done. So, like Guenzati and Augustine Williams. So the big guns aren't really getting it done there. So, and Romario Williams, good to see him back on the scoreboard for Indy 11. So we shall see what happens there. Might be a tight matchup. I think could be end up a draw either way. Another pivotal game coming up on Saturday night is the Pittsburgh Riverhounds taking on Rhode Island SC. Now, Rhode Island SC is 1 point behind Detroit City for that fourth spot, but they are traveling into Highmark to take on a Riverhound squad who's been pretty much Jekyll and Hyde as of year. Looking at the head-to-head between the two teams, is the only game that these two teams have played was on Saturday, April 13th, and that turned out to be a 0-0 draw between the two clubs. North Carolina hosts Oakland Roots. Oakland Roots battling for the top in the Western Conference there in that dogfight. So first meeting between the two clubs that'll be taking place on Saturday night, 7:30 kickoff down in Cary, North Carolina. Tampa Bay, I already mentioned them earlier. They're taking a Colorado Switchback side who has pumped it up as of late. 2 big wins, including a 4-1 victory over, let's see, their last opponent. Take a look here. Their 4-1 victory over FC Tulsa on Sunday, and they just totally dominated at One Oak Field on Sunday evening there. So, like I say, a pivotal matchup. There's a possibility Rowdies could drop points, so we shall see. And they ended up dropping points as of late, including a 3-2 loss to Detroit City at Al Lane Stadium. So they might be regressing a bit. So kind of a team to watch out for. And I think you think they may be okay in that third spot in the Eastern Conference, but you never know. You never know. Drop points along the way. If teams start moving up and rising through, they could fall out of that fourth spot, maybe even worse. And they're firmly going to be in the playoffs, but what position they will be in, we shall see. Of course, the Boys in Rouge travel to El Paso on Saturday night. The last time these two teams met in El Paso, it ended up being a 3-1 victory for Detroit City down there. Kind of weird that we have to travel to El Paso this year, because the year before we went to, or they came here. So, and that was a 1-1 draw. In fact, it was the first game, or no, it was the first national TV game for Detroit City FC. And that match was on ESPN2, and it was a 1-1 draw there. But last year when we went there, March 18th, it was a 3-1 victory for Detroit City. I'll go back to that one. You had an own goal by Yuma, Maxi Rodriguez, and Yazid Matthews, your other goal scorers that night for Detroit City FC. And I think at this juncture, I think that's when you look at this game. I mean, down at Southwest University Park. El Paso right now, as far as the West goes, they are sitting in last right now, but they are still firmly in they're in contention for the playoffs the way that Western table's looking. So possibly they're 5 points behind right now. San Antonio SC, who's they are 10 points behind as far as the playoff line goes. So see what happens. Should be an interesting one to say the least. On and we'll get a full preview of that come Saturday on Soccer Night in Detroit of that game. So, and that's pretty much it for Saturday's games. Let's see here. There was nothing going, and that's it for the week as far as pivotal games that'll determine the Eastern Conference playoff structure. So don't forget, we'll be on Saturday night. We'll release the video probably an hour before the match. Might give a little brief team news on the TikTok as far as the lineups go. So that's where you're going to find most of your lineup news. I'll also share it on the Facebook page as well, and also on Soccer Night Detroit on Twitter. Follow me there at Motor City Madcat. And of course, keep you up to date as far as the match goes. And other news as far as the leagues and every USL, USL-W, MASL-W. As far anything that has to do with Detroit City, we'll share the news. We'll share news on that channel as well. So until Saturday night, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the galaxy.